Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be looking at my current draft, so let's get straight into it. Okay, so we're starting off with Flecken in goal, who plays Crystal Palace in Gameweek 1. He is far from set in my team. Could be Henderson, could be Sells, or any of the other 4.5s, really. But one thing that I do know is that I'll only be spending 4.5 million on a goalkeeper. I don't really see the value in the kind of more expensive goalkeepers. The only one I would consider is probably Raya, but for now, I'm happy with a 4.5 option. Right, moving on to defenders. One thing you'll notice is I've gone pretty heavy at the back in this draft. I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've got Pedro Porro, and I've got Daniel Munoz. Munoz is far from set in there. He's a recent addition to the draft. I was looking at some of Palace's heat maps from last season, and towards the end of the season, he was playing ridiculously high. Could be potentially the fact that Elise was there and he likes to cut in, maybe. He's now gone, so whether we see Munoz that high again, not too sure. But if he does play that high, then he'll be getting goals and assists for sure. Porro, we know how attacking he is. We also know how bad Spurs' defence is, but their first two fixtures are nice, and I can potentially bench him after that. You'll see later on in the video who I've got in my bench that can come on for him. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's been in all of my drafts since the beginning, to be honest. I did a little bit of research on Slot and the way he played last season, the way he set his team up. He likes his fullbacks very high, which will obviously benefit Trent. He's 7 million this season, which is the cheapest he's been in a few years. So, yeah, I think he's quite good value at 7 million. So I'll likely be going with him if he's fit to start anyway. Okay, moving on to the midfielders, and you'll notice one big omission, that is Mohamed Salah. He was in my drafts at the start when the game first launched, but I've now decided that I don't think I want him in the team. I don't like drafts with Haaland and Salah, so you'll notice in a minute that basically I've gone for Haaland instead of Salah at the moment. Um, who I do have in my team is Bukayo Saka. I think that he's just great value, whatever his fixtures are, to be honest. Arsenal's opening fixtures aren't the best. Game week 1 fixture's good, Wolves at home. But after that, it gets a little bit ropey. But he's a 90-minute man. He's on penalties. He's on corners. So the value's just there. Bruno Fernandes is an interesting one. I like United's opening fixtures. I also think that he could be quite heavily involved in attacks this season. We saw at points last season that he played quite deep. I'll be surprised if that happens again, but it might be one to look out for. And Nkunku is just ridiculously underpriced, let's be honest. He should be 7, 8 million, I'd say. He looks like he's fit now, and he's got a lot of preseason minutes now, so yeah, he's going nowhere. Eze's an interesting one. He's obviously come back into preseason a bit late because of the Euros, so not too sure if he'll definitely start in game week 1. I'd be surprised if he didn't, and he's another one who's got corners, free kicks. He'll play a lot of minutes and is probably on penalties now that Elise's gone. We did see Mateta take one in the Olympics, but I'd be quite surprised if Eze isn't taking them for Palace. On to the forwards now, and as mentioned previously, I do have Haaland instead of Salah. I don't like drafts of both, as I mentioned, so I have Haaland in this draft. I think even at 15 million, he is worth the price. We've seen earlier in pre-season that he's quite capable of putting goals past Chelsea, so I don't hate the game week 1 fixture, even though it's not technically the best on paper. I think it's absolutely fine. I've also got Isak. He's got a fantastic opening fixture, potentially even a captainable opening fixture. It will be between Isak, Saka, and maybe Haaland for me, I think, but probably between Isak and Saka for captaincy. But yeah, got Isak in the team. He may move to Watkins in game week 3. I want to leave that option open. I'm not sure if I'll actually want to go through with it, but I do want to leave that option open. And the third and final striker is João Pedro. There were slight concerns over his fitness as he missed some training and one, potentially two preseason friendlies. But in their most recent friendly, he played 90 minutes, scored a goal, so he's definitely my team. He's got penalties, and yeah, I just like him essentially. I think he's a good pick. Um, there was a time when I was considering Adam Armstrong for that position, but now that João Pedro's fit, I think that he takes the spot. Right, moving on to the bench now. I've got a 4 million goalkeeper who plays for the same team as Flecken, so that I'll definitely have a goalkeeper every week. I've got Barco, who looks set to start the season at left back for Brighton with Estupinian injured and out until I think game week 4 earliest, so should be fine. And I've got Sangara as the 4.5 million midfielder. That could be any other 4.5 million midfielder. What I'll probably do is just see who the lowest owned playing 4.5 million midfielder is when it comes to the deadline, because I don't really want to lose money on that spot. I don't really want to be transferring a player out or in, so that's probably what I'll do. I've then got Konsa as my 4.5 million defender. I mentioned earlier that I will potentially be moving Porro in and out. Porro's first two fixtures are brilliant, so I'll definitely play him then. Konsa's aren't as much, but from game week 3 onwards, Konsa and Aston Villa have brilliant fixtures, so I won't necessarily need Porro from game week 3 onwards because Konsa can quite easily play there. And that is the team. Thank you very much for watching. This is my first video, so as you can tell, my setup and equipment isn't ideal at the moment, but going forward, that'll start to get better. So thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.